We'll call the Committee of Higher Education to order. Madam Secretary, if you would call the roll.
Medina.
Present.
Baker. Bloom. Chavez. Harper.
Present.
Irwin. Jones Sawyer.
Present.
Levine. Linder. Lowe. Santiago. Weber. Williams.
Thank you. We're going to call up AB 573 by Chairman Medina. Welcome, Chairman Medina.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Madam Chair and committee members. AB 573 will provide relief and opportunity to the estimated 13,000 California students harmed by the closure of Corinthian colleges. Current state and federal laws provide some relief to some of the students affected by the closure through loan forgiveness and tuition recovery. This bill ensures that all California students are fully protected by helping Corinthian students access community colleges through waiving fees and providing counselors to aid in the transfer and enrollment process. This bill provides accessible relief through legal assistance grants to help students complete the loan forgiveness and tuition recovery process. This bill expands the California Tuition Recovery Fund to ensure that all students have access to this important economic relief. It restores the years of Cal Grant eligibility for approximately 2,700 Cal Grant students impacted by the closure of Heald colleges. Finally, the bill establishes a standing task force within the Bureau for Private Post-Secondary Education to coordinate agency actions and ensure students are provided with accurate and timely information. The costs of this bill are largely covered by special funds under the Bureau and by the resources provided by the community colleges under Proposition 98. I respectfully ask for your aye vote. And with me here today are two students who have been affected by the closure.
Please proceed, and if you could state your name and who you're with as well. Thank you.
My name is Darcy Holloway, and I'm a former student of Heald College. I began Heald in 2012, and I was returning to college 25 years after I graduated high school for this, and in fact, it was a feat. I wasn't working. I was living with family and struggling as a single mom. With child support as my only means of money, I chose Heald because of the get in, get on, and get ahead, in addition to the promise of assistance with getting job for lifetime promise. I met with an advisor. She explained the schooling process and gave me a tour with all the bells and whistles. Gave me the assessment test, which I did really well at. I was able to skip the first mandatory English and math classes and receive credit for them. I thought this was another good sign that I was on the right path for a better life for myself and my girls. Sorry. During the months to follow, I occasionally would get called into the finance office regarding loans. These would coincide with semesters. They would tell me that I needed to sign new paperwork regarding the subsidized and unsubsidized loans. And they were assured me that everything would be fine and there wasn't any problems. My experience with the instructors was a positive one. I felt like they wanted me to succeed. I obtained a 3.9 GPA, and I was very excited to graduate and get working in a medical office as a certified medical assistant, a career I had always dreamed. I'm so sorry.
Take your time.
I had always dreamed of helping people in the medical field. Healed intake advisors and instructors made me believe that I was going to be very successful with my drive and determination. I graduated in October of 2013. Within 2 weeks of graduation, I was hit with a medical condition that required surgery. When I told my career advisor about my surgery, I was expecting, well, we'll be here when you're ready. Instead, I was told that they only work with outgoing students consistently for the first 90 days until the next class graduates. However, with my situation, I could get a doctor's note regarding the surgery and I would be cleared and would reinstate my 90 days. When I was cleared for work, I approached Healed and I was pawned off to another advisor who didn't have the connections of my original advisor had. She would just email me items off of Craigslist. I continued for several months trying to get a job with less than adequate help from the different advisor. I'm now 19 months out from graduation and I still have no job with a medical practice as a CCMA. I am still living with family and I feel like I am a burden to them. With my children, I'm signed up for at least 2 hiring agencies and I apply for over 40 jobs a week online. I'm working with a county agency to help me with my resume, cover letter, and being brought into a state-funded WEAV program for the on-the-job training. When I receive an interview, I make the top 3 usually, and I am passed by due to the lack of experience and being out of school for the length of time that I have been. I feel that Healed colleges had good intentions, however, failed to live up to their own hype. I recently found that I did not have 2 student loans, I had 7. The school had applied for on my behalf. I was attempting to pay for my student loans in 2014 with my child support, but that took more away from my children. So with over $25,000 I still owed, I've had to go through a third-party company to consolidate my loans with the Department of Education. I feel as if the school preyed upon my single mom status and wanting to set a positive example for my girls by getting me to sign up for what appeared to be a chance of a lifetime. I was asked to come here today to tell my story so that the committee can put a face to a student who can be helped by AB 573. I may not be eligible for the relief provided in this bill, but many other students whose stories are very similar to mine will be eligible. Thank you.
Thank you. Additional witness, and we'll try to keep it within 2 minutes if you can. Thank you.
My name is Tiffany Johnson. I began at Hill College San Francisco campus in August 2012 and later transferred to their Hayward campus. This was my first time going to college and I was excited. I was working part-time to support my kids, but also needed financial aid to be able to afford tuition and living expenses while in school. I received Pell Grants and Cal Grants and took out federal and private loans to make up the difference. Being a student at Hill wasn't easy. Hill used my Pell Grant money to pay off my private loan without my permission. I was not allowed to meet with anyone about the matter except the manager of financial aid. When I decided to transfer to the Hayward campus, the San Francisco campus refused to transfer my records and charged me for tuition I didn't owe. Then on Sunday, April 26, 2015, I received an email stating that Hill would cease operations the following day. I had no time to prepare and was left in the dark about my options moving forward. Unitech College told me I could transfer credit from one class, but if I did, I would be unable to get my loans discharged. I could also start over, but I've already used up some of my Cal Grant and Pell Grant eligibility at Hill. I went to college to obtain a degree in order to have a better life for my family and be able to support them. But now all I have is $36,869 of debt with no degree and nothing to show for it. I appreciate your time and attention in this issue. Thank you for thinking about ways to help students like me.
Thank you. We'll take additional comments of support from the audience, from public comment. If you can come to the microphone and identify your name and who you were with.
Good afternoon. Ed Howard, Senior Counsel with the Children's Advocacy Institute and the Center for Public Interest Law at the University of San Diego School of Law, in strong support, especially for the modest and very narrow provision that allows these students to get some help just with tuition recovery and just with dealing with their student loans. Thank you. Ask for your aye vote.
Thank you. And I'm going to put a pause, excuse me, if I may, on the public comment for just a moment. I see our good chairman has an additional witness that I have not made opportunity for. Excuse me for that. Please, we look forward to your testimony, and stay where you are in line by the microphone, please. Thank you.
Sure, I'm happy to be brief. I'm Debbie Cochran with the Institute for College Access and Success, and I just want to say that we at TICAS and a number of organizations that we work with support this bill as a common sense way of making sure that students have meaningful access to the provisions that state and federal law already provides to students who are enrolled in closed schools.
Thank you. Thank you for your testimony. We can continue with public comment. Again, please your name and who you're with and your position on the bill.
Ted Merman with the East Bay Community Law Center in Oakland and Berkeley, in strong support of the bill. Thank you.
My name is Robbie Sumner, and I'm here on behalf of Attorney General Kamala Harris in strong support of the bill.
Angela Williams, California Student Aid Commission. The Commission has not taken a formal position on the bill yet, obviously, because there's a process involved, but they're in strong support of the measure, working with the author's office as well as the committee staff. And, of course, particularly focused on protecting students in this case.
We're supportive amended.
Or the other category.
Oh, thank you. Additional support. Okay.
Madam Chair, my name is Matt Back. I represent the California Association of Private Post-Secondary Schools. We're the largest statewide association representing this sector. Just for clarification, Corinthian College is not a member of our association. So we are a support, if amended, position. We certainly sympathize with the students, obviously those who attended here today. We sympathize with their story and the thousands of others who are in that same plight. And we do support a number of the provisions in the bill, certainly the community college relief for these students, the Cal Grant relief. Those all certainly make sense, and those are general fund commitments that the legislature is making and deem them important enough to use those funds. We do have concerns, however, and we've suggested amendments dealing with how we handle the STRIF, the Student Tuition Recovery Fund, and the legal aid component. So both of these funds are, as the author mentioned, special funds. So students who did not, so healed students were exempt from that fee. They were exempt from the Bureau, therefore they never paid into that fund. It's the other students who are regulated by the Bureau who have funded that STRIF and who are entitled to it. So when we give that benefit to the healed student, we are then placing a larger burden on the other students who are going to have to pay more to make up the difference. So we need to be aware of what we're doing there and what burden we're placing on the other students. We would certainly suggest that we could use general funds, just like we are with the Cal Grant or the community college. That would be a much cleaner approach. We could resolve that, and then again, going forward, basically every school is already regulated by the Bureau, so if this does happen again, it's most likely that those students would have paid into it and been entitled to it, and we would not need legislation to address that. The other piece is the legal aid, which our group certainly has more concerns with. It's basically a blank check of $1.3 million to a legal aid organization that is supposed to help these students. Well, a number of them are not going to need the help, right? They're going to want to go further their education. They're going to maybe get their loan forgiven. Certainly the Wyotech and the other Corinthian College is entitled to the STRIF. I looked it up today. It's a 4-page application. You just go onto the Bureau's website, you click on it, and there's a 4-page application. I'm not sure we need to appropriate $1.3 million from institutional fees. Again, these were not healed money. They were exempt. So you're placing the burden on those schools that are under the Bureau. So if it is a commitment that the legislature wants to make, that's $1.3 million that you could use out of general fund. It would be much cleaner, and there certainly wouldn't be any legal issues with that. So for those reasons, we do have concerns. We're supportive amended if we can take those amendments. We appreciate all the work that the committee consultant's doing and the author, and we look forward to working with everybody on this bill.
Jennifer Tannehill with Aaron Reed and Associates on behalf of the American Career Colleges and West Coast University. Want to echo the concerns of my colleague and also let you know we fully support helping these students and try and make their way after this unfortunate circumstance has hit them. We are concerned with using the STRIF money, that it would be an illegal action, and we want to make sure that that they are made whole and that's not something that holds them up. So we would suggest using that, as Matt had stated, using either general fund money or Cal Grant monies for that, something out of the general fund. Also, the portion of the bill that deals with the closed school task force, I believe this is mentioned in the analysis. We'd like to see to make sure that there's accurate, uniform, and unbiased professional advice on that committee, on that task force. And so to meet that end, we'd like to see 2 financial aid professionals with knowledge of the federal student aid program, the STRIF, the Cal Grant, be added to the panel, both representing Cal Grant eligible institutions, one from a community college and then one from a proprietary institution. And these subject matter experts can best advise the task force and the students on how to move forward and meet their goals going down the road. So we've shared these concerns with staff and look forward to working with the committee as the bill moves forward.
Thank you. Briefly.
Laura Brown on behalf of the Coalition of Accredited Career Schools. We are wanting to move into a support position, have been working with staff and appreciate the progress the bill has made, and we just echo the comments that have been made previously with respect to the task force as well, and adding a sector rep, particularly maybe one from the current advisory committee, which we've done in the past. We've added an advisory committee member to task force that have been created to have some seamlessness and nexus there. So we would urge the committee to consider an amendment of a sector rep from the advisory committee, and also with respect to the legal aid provision, we would urge the committee to make an amendment to have that come out of the general fund. Thank you.
Additional public comment and support?
Madam Chair and members, Vince Stewart with the Community College Chancellor's Office. We don't yet have a position on the bill, but we're certainly appreciative of the efforts of the author and his staff. Certainly appreciate the amendments to the Board of Governors fee waiver as well as to accessing the Cal Grant program. And we're certainly wanting to do everything that we can to accommodate any Corinthian students who might want to transfer to community colleges. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Lizette Everett from the Community College League of California. We don't have a formal position, but are going to take this to our board within the next week and hopefully seek a support position. We do have additional concerns about additional professional development needs of our financial aid staff, considering these are very intensive cases that intersect various levels of financial aid and legal assistance. So, thank you.
Rigel Massaro with Public Advocates. We haven't taken a formal position on the bill, but just want to stress that this bill is really a floor, that we're looking to simply give these students access to their current legal rights. I'm speaking with regard especially to the legal aid provision. Helping these 13,000 students. We do need more robust student protections, but that's not what this bill is about. It's about giving these students the help they need to access their current rights. I was just at the Bureau Advisory Committee meeting this morning, and I heard from them that even though they now supposedly have custody of all the documents Corinthian students need to either discharge their debt or transfer, the Bureau is at the end of this month receiving 25,000 boxes of student information, and students are absolutely going to need advocates to help them get the information they need just to exercise their rights. So we're just asking you to realize this is the floor, this is the bare minimum, and really appreciate your vote. There is over $20 million in STRIF right now, and we want to use that money to protect the students. Thank you.
Any witnesses in opposition? I'll turn it to our colleagues at the Diaz in the committee.